Hey guys, I'm Tom Grennan and I'm here chatting with the big man Milky. I'm most excited about obviously playing shows. I've never played a show here yet, and there's been a lot of people in my inbox and whatnot saying you need to come to Australia and do a show and experience an Aussie crowd. And I feel like the time has come where, like, finally, obviously Corona and then not being able to come over because I had to finish off the record and finally we're here to do shows and kickstart, which I hope is a long career in Australia. I feel like this is an important place for me, and I really do feel like I'll connect with the Australian audience. And listen, I've got big dreams and big aspirations, and when I think about Australia, I think about stadiums and I think about playing to big crowds. So yes, it's the beginning of a long book. I feel like my show is, like, obviously I don't want to sound like big-headish or blow my own trumpet, but I'm gonna do it because I believe I can sing and I can do music, but as a performer, I feel like I really bring my A game when it comes to performing. So if you're coming as a spectator or as a fan, expect high energy, expect like a party. You'll be dancing, you won't be leaving unhappy, you'll be leaving with I want to see more. It's like a film that always is left on a cliffhanger. What's next? And yeah, I love that. Yeah, massively. Like I just said, I feel like performance is what I'm about, and human connection is something that's unbeaten. You can do it on TikTok, you can do it on Instagram, you can be this social media like phenomenon, but that's bullshit. Like, I believe in like the power of people, and I don't know, there's also a bit of mystery about like an artist on stage, whereas like online you can see into the person's house, you can go to bed with this person. It's not what you get on stage. The stage is a place of mystery, but also a place of coming together. I get asked this question, what's all these nights about? The honest answer is, I don't really know. It's one of them songs that it was a feeling more than anything. And I remember like hearing the drum pattern first, and it just kind of got me up, got me excited, got me dancing. And especially at home in Britain right now, like, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of things going on where people are consumed by it all, and I just want to make music that can allow people to escape and allow people to leave the world that they might be living in and just, I don't know, spend some time with themselves or with loved ones and just have a party. And All These Nights is a song that made me do that. I remember being in the studio and the people that I was with, we were all dancing and laughing and then obviously the lyrics came, and all these nights we've been talking and touching. It's that feeling when you're with the person that you love or whatnot, and that's the safe spot. Do you know what I mean? That's where like all the chaos outside, you can allow it to happen, but the bubble you're in for that moment is fit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I feel like the most catchiest part of it is say you wanna stay, oh, all of these nights we've been talking and touching. I feel like the choruses were just really, it's an earworm. It's something that like you feel like you might have heard it before, but you definitely haven't. But no, it feels like one of them songs where you're like, oh my god, I feel like I know that one, but I don't. So yeah. I feel like creating and that creative process for me doesn't have any sort of like structure to it. It's all just a feeling. I'm dyslexic, so when it comes to lyrics, I do have like a thing that helps me like organize my lyrics, and and I've had it ever since I've been a kid. So it's like I draw like a line, like a washing line, and I'll just hang up these words, and I'll try and make a word that I don't know, or a word that I have no idea what it even means or says. Do you know what I mean? So like I try to make all these words that I hung up on this washing line become words that I do understand, and how sometimes a word won't fit into another word, but I'll try and make that word fit into that word. So yeah, that's my process with that, really. A lot. I feel like obviously the year's coming to an end, but there's so much more to do, and obviously the Australian tours, I haven't even started that yet, so that's coming up, which I'm really, really excited for. Then I go back out to America for a minute, come home, and there's a few little gigs here and there, but really and truthfully it's preparing for next year. I've written my third record now, and it's probably the best music that I've done, and I feel like the most like international sounding music that I've done. So I'm excited to kind of, don't know, go overseas, like I said earlier, come back here more and try and conquer the place. Do you know what I'm saying? It's I'm here for the long run, and it's something that I'm really, really hyped up for, and yeah, it's exciting times. I find that question so hard to answer because I'm into all sorts of different music, but I think like life in general is my influence, and if I like a song or if I like an artist, then I'll listen and I'll dig that for a while. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd love to work with like Tony Bennett, or I'd love to work with Gaga. I'd love to work with Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Queen, like the greatest hits or something like that. Obviously James Bond, that's the dream. So yeah, I'm not stopping till I get a Bond theme tune for sure. All sorts of different things. I always think like, what am I having for dinner? That's a big one. I always think like signs. People write on signs, so I'm trying to read these signs while trying to remember lyrics, and sometimes I sing the sign and I'm like, oh shit, that's not the lyric. But I think about loads of different things. I feel like when you do a set again and again and again, it kind of becomes autopilot. So I'm always trying to think, don't let it become autopilot as well, because it just gets boring. Do you know what I mean? It just gets boring. So yeah, I try to just always have a bit of fun and think a bit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, but yeah. Hannah Montana all day. I don't know actually. It's a bit creepy now saying that. I'd say Miley Cyrus. I fucking love Miley though. That's another artist I'd love to work with actually. I don't know, Paolo Nutini or someone like that. Kook Show in Cambridge. Coldplay. Curtain Calls. Eminem. Spice Girl, they got paid more. Good cunt. Fuck knows, I actually don't know. Yeah, who knows, I don't know. I feel like my first ever show was the most rememberable one. I feel like there was like 20 people there, and it was the first time I kind of realised that I could hold a crowd, and I could make them happy, and I could win fans. God, there's so many. I'd say like Elton John's probably one of them. The Beatles are definitely one of them. Freddie Mercury's one of them. Ray Charles is one of them. There's all different types. Elvis Presley. There's loads of different artists who I feel like have made a difference in the music industry. Beyonce's one of them. That's a hard question. I'm one of them. Joking, I'm not really, but I will be. I'd probably say to my future self, chill out a little bit. Stop overthinking things. You're on your own path, your own journey. And enjoy it, because it's an important time. I think like when I just said about doing my first ever gig, I feel like the hustle and bustle of it was fun, it was exciting, and it was the unknown as well, like being unsigned at the time, having to try and get as many gigs as possible, not getting paid for them. There was no like big lighting, there was no like big production behind it. It was just raw and just unpolished. Don't get me wrong, it's not very polished now, but like it's definitely like more polished than then. But it was more the fact that it was the unknown and the spontaneousness of it. I don't even know if that's a word, but I've made that up, and that should now go in the dictionary. But I think that is one thing when I was like, this music life is for me. I don't think a 9 to 5 would suit me. I've had a few and I got fired from them all, so yeah, this life is definitely is for me, and I love it. It's sick.